Good morning, students. Welcome to a new session of geography. In our previous video, we have studied part 1. Now in this video, we are going to study how seasons occur part 2 and explore its reasons. Now children, this lesson we will divide into two parts, video 1 and video 2. Today we will be watching the first part of it. What are the things that are going to be learned here? Apparent movement of the sun, diurnal apparent movement of the sun, causes of apparent and diurnal movement of the sun, perihelion and aphelion positions of the earth, and occurrence of the seasons. Okay, so let's start by reading the lessons How Seasons Occur, Part 2. Apparent movement of the sun. You must have realized through your observations that the position of the sun at sunrise appears to change on the horizon every day. Its position appears to move towards the north or south in the course of a year. However, in reality, the sun does not move anywhere. That is why this movement of the sun towards the north or south in a year is called the apparent movement of the sun. The position of the rising sun keeps on moving towards the south in the period from 21st June to 22nd December. This period is called Dakshinayan. From 22nd December to 21st June, the sun keeps on moving towards the north. This period is called Uttarayan. The revolution of the earth around the sun and the tilted axis of the earth are the two factors responsible for the apparent movement of the sun. Seasons occur only with reference to the northern and the southern hemispheres. Perihelion and aphelion positions of the earth. The path of the revolution of the earth around the sun is elliptical. The sun is at one of the two centers of the ellipse. The sun does not change its position. As the earth moves in an ellipse, its distance from the sun does not remain the same. It is as its minimum distance in the first week of the January. This is called the perihelion position of the earth. In this position, the southern end of the axis is towards the sun. As against this, in the first week of July, the earth is at the farthest point from the sun. This is called the aphelion position. In this position, the northern end of the axis is towards the sun. With the help of figure 8.1, which you can see on the screen, shows the position of the earth in relation to the sun, you can guess which season prevails in which hemisphere. Seasons occur due to the revolution of the earth as well as due to the tilt of its axis of rotation. Do you know? Due to the gravitational forces of the sun and the earth, the speed of the earth gets reduced during the aphelion position and increases during the perihelion position. As the difference in the distance of the earth in both these positions is not very great, it does not have any effect on the seasons. So now children, we are going to see the figure 8.2, which shows you the aphelion and the perihelion positions. Let us know what this part of the lesson holds for us or what it has told us. It shows the apparent movement of the sun. Now this apparent movement of the sun is of two types, children. The annual apparent, which is from south to north, and the diurnal apparent, which is from the east to west. Now we are going to study first the diurnal because it is a very simple, which you see daily. The diurnal apparent movement of the sun is the sunrise and the sunset. Means when the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Now we already know, children, that it is not the sun that changes its position, but it is just because of the rotation and the revolution of the earth that we feel that the sun is moving, that is sun is rising and setting. Okay, now this change in position of the sun that we say is the diurnal apparent movement of the sun. Now let us move forward and see the annual apparent movement of the sun, which is from south to north. Now children, apparent means seeming to be true, but not necessarily is it real. Means it seems that it is been happening, but it is not real. Like I said, now I'll give you one more example. Now when you are traveling in a train, when you look outside the window, you feel like everything outside is running fast or it is moving, but it is stationed and the train is moving. In the same way, the earth is rotating and revolving around the sun, whereas the sun is stationed at one place. We feel that the sun is moving, but it is positioned in one place and the earth is rotating and revolving around itself. Now, children, here you can see that there are two pictures. In the first picture, you can see that the sun is moving from moving towards the north. Now students, we have observed in our first video that the position of the sun at sunrise appears to change on the horizon every day. This position appears to move towards the north or south in the course of a year, which you can see in the first and the second part of the slide. Here, yes, the position appears to move towards the north or south in the course of the year. However, we know that in reality the sun does not move. Now that is why this movement of the sun that we think is moving towards the north or south in a year is called as the apparent movement of the sun. Okay, children? Now what are the causes of apparent movement of the sun? The annual apparent movement of the sun is related to the revolution of the earth and the tilt of the earth's axis, means from the south to north or north to south. Okay, and the diurnal apparent movement of the sun is related to the rotation of the earth. Okay, now there are two ions or solstices. These changes are called as summer solstice or Uttarayan and winter solstice or Dakshinayan. Now let us study about Dakshinayan first. As the name suggests, it is exactly opposite to Uttarayan. From 21st or 22nd June to 22nd December, the sun travels back from north to south, means Dakshin. This period is called Dakshinayan. In this period, the sun travels from north to south. It is 6 months long. During Dakshinayan, nights are longer and days are shorter. This southward movement of the sun consists of 3 seasons: rainy, autumn and winter. Now these changes are called as summer solstice or Uttarayan and winter solstice or Dakshinayan. Now let us study about Dakshinayan first. As the name suggests, it is exactly opposite to Uttarayan. From 21st or 22nd June to 22nd December, the sun travels back from north to south, means Dakshin. This period is called Dakshinayan. In this period, the sun travels from north to south. It is 6 months long. During Dakshinayan, nights are longer and days are shorter. This southward movement of the sun consists of 3 seasons: rainy, autumn and winter. Now students, in the slide on the picture that is given to you, you can see the movement of the sun towards the south from the north, which is called as the winter solstice. Now let us move to the next one, that is the Uttarayan or the summer solstice. From 22nd December to 21st June, the sun keeps on moving towards the north, means the Uttar. This period is called Uttarayan. In this period, the sun travels from south to north. It is 6 months long period. During Uttarayan, the days are longer and the nights are shorter. This northward movement of the sun from winter to summer solstice consists of 3 seasons: winter, spring and summer. Okay children? Now let's see the sun's journey from Dakshinayan to Uttarayan. Now in this slide you can see and make out the sun's journey from Dakshinayan to Uttarayan. See, on every part they have taken small parts and the way the sun rises. The meaning of the movement of the sun means that the apparent movement of the sun as seen from the earth that revolves around the sun in elliptical path and not the other way round. The earth's axis of rotation moves from north to south. Means what happens is the sun is not moving, the sun is stationed children, and the earth moves. Now let us explore the next part, perihelion and the aphelion positions of the earth. As the earth moves in an ellipse, its distance from the sun does not remain the same. It is at its minimum distance from the sun in the first week of January. This is called the perihelion position of the earth. In this position, the southern end of the axis is towards the sun. So children, when the earth is at a minimum distance from the sun, it is the perihelion position of the earth. You can see it in the slide, on the slide in the picture that is given to you. Okay. Now let us see about the aphelion position. As against this, in the first week of July, the earth is at the farthest position from the sun. This is called the aphelion position of the earth. In this position, the northern end of the axis is towards the sun. Okay children? So, if the earth is at a minimum distance, it is at a perihelion position, and if it is at the farthest position from the sun, then it is at the aphelion position. Okay, it is the aphelion position of the earth. Now if you see in the above figure, it shows you the position of the earth in relation to the sun. You can guess which season prevails in which hemispheres. From the figure, you can see everywhere they have given you in the proper solstice which season prevails. You can see the winter solstice, you can see the spring equinox, you can see the summer solstice, you can see the autumnal equinox. Okay, so you can make out which equinoxes are there and which are the seasons prevailing. Now equinox we are going to see in our next video. Now the main part, the main question here is, how do seasons occur? Then the seasons occur, children, due to the revolution of the earth and as well as due to the tilt of its axis of rotation. This we have studied now in this video already. Okay, I hope you understood children whatever was shown today. Now we have a small part that is given to you to know. which is very important. What is it? Due to the gravitational forces of the sun and the earth, the speed of the earth gets reduced during the aphelion position. Now what is the aphelion position? The farthest position. Yes, the farthest point from the sun, and increases during the perihelion positions, means the minimum distance, as the difference is the distance in the distance of the earth in both these positions is not very great. It does not have any effect on the season. Now children, in this part of the lesson that we have seen, there is one more thing which we have to see. That is, always remember. This year you will study the apparent motion of the sun in your science textbook as well. Okay. Now in that book, the sun's east-west motion from sunrise to sunset, that is its diurnal apparent motion, is also considered. Whereas in geography, we consider the apparent, that is the north-south movement of the sun. Now in both the motions, the sun only appears to move and does not actually move. The diurnal apparent movement of the sun is related to the rotation of the earth, whereas its annual apparent movement is related to the revolution of the earth and the tilt of the earth's axis. Okay children? Now let us review the video 1, what we have seen in this video. We have seen the apparent movement of the sun, we have studied it. We have studied the diurnal apparent movement of the sun. We have seen the causes of apparent and diurnal movement of the sun. We have seen or studied the perihelion and the aphelion positions of the earth. We have also studied the causes of the occurrence of the seasons. We have studied Dakshinayan and Uttarayan, okay, or the winter solstice and the summer solstice. Now children, you have to solve these two questions. Complete the statements using correct options in your notebook, and you also have to draw the diagram 8.1 and 8.2 in your notebooks. Okay. Thank you for watching patiently, and let us meet in the part 2 of the video of lesson number 8, How Seasons Occur, part 2. Till then, this is your teacher Dipti Kamalwar saying goodbye.